ChatGPT, an AI chatbot that answers like a human and is threatening to take over human jobs. U.S. politicians always talk about illegal immigrants and overseas workers taking over American jobs, but these boomers have not yet begun to even understand the looming threat of AI on the job market. Image-generating AI such as Midjourney, DALL-E 2, which is made by the same people who made ChatGPT, and many others are already under fire for stealing from artists, as many artists claim their work was used without any permission to train the AI models. The artists were not provided with any compensation or credit. Many schools and universities are banning the use of these AI tools as students creatively use them to not do mundane homework assignments. Granted, the answers are not exactly perfect, but they can be made to look good with just light proofreading. Microsoft has already showcased the helpfulness of ChatGPT by incorporating it in the Office 365 Business Suite in form of Copilot and is claiming it will increase employee productivity. But I am not here to talk about advantages and disadvantages of these AI tools. I don't think I am even qualified enough to talk about the long drawn-out effect of these large language or image AI models on the economy and their societal impact. I am just trying to have fun with it and ask some steamy questions. ChatGPT's guidelines say that you cannot use it to make sexual content like erotica, but it does allow you to ask questions related to sex education. So without further ado, let's get naughty. Let's start with the basics. Like, how to know when someone is flirting with me.
Flirting is a way of showing romantic or sexual interest in someone. However, it can be difficult to know when someone is flirting with you, especially if you are not familiar with their behavior or personality. Here are some signs that someone might be flirting with you. Eye contact. If someone is flirting with you, they will make eye contact with you and maintain it for a longer time than usual.
I usually think if someone is looking at me, I might be badly dressed or something.
Body language. Flirting often involves body language such as leaning in, touching your arm, or mirroring your movements.
That would seem super straightforward to understand. After all, body language is understood even by animals.
Compliments. If someone is flirting with you, they will often compliment you on your appearance, personality, or accomplishments.
I often believe people are just complimenting me to get something from me.
Teasing. Playful teasing can be a sign of flirting. If someone is teasing you in a light-hearted and flirtatious way, they may be interested in you.
Me being hot-headed, I would just believe they are teasing me to make fun of me.
Asking personal questions. If someone is flirting with you, they may ask personal questions about your life, interests, or relationships. Flirtatious behavior. Flirting often involves playful and suggestive behavior such as winking, smiling, or laughing. However, it's important to keep in mind that not everyone shows their interest in the same way, and sometimes people can be friendly without being flirtatious.
Believe me when I say that I have mistook kindness for romantic interest many times.
Therefore, it's always best to communicate directly with the person and ask them if they are interested in you romantically or not.
I don't have the balls to be so upfront. I am very anxious in social situations. Now we know when someone is flirting with us. Let's turn up the heat and ask ChatGPT how to figure out if they want to have sex.
It is important to keep in mind that everyone communicates their intentions and desires differently, and it is never safe to assume that someone wants to sleep with you.
I assume I do not look remotely attractive enough to sleep with even if you are drunk.
However, there are some signs that may indicate that someone is interested in having sex with you. They make suggestive comments or jokes about sex.
I would just keep overthinking about the joke or try to one-up them.
They touch you in a sexual way, such as grabbing your butt or rubbing your thigh. They invite you to their home or suggest going to a private location. They initiate physical contact, such as holding your hand or kissing you.
If movies and TV shows are anything to go by, last 3 points are definitely true.
They express their desire to have sex with you verbally or through text messages.
This one is definitely for the pros and not for noobs like me.
It is important to remember that consent is key in any sexual encounter. If you are unsure if someone wants to have sex with you or if you are uncomfortable with their advances, it is important to communicate your boundaries clearly and respectfully.
Now that we have established someone does want to have sex with us, how do we be good at it?
Being good at sex means being attentive to your partner's needs, communicating effectively, and prioritizing consent and mutual pleasure. Here are some tips that can help you improve your sexual experience. Communicate with your partner. Talk to your partner about their likes, dislikes, and boundaries before engaging in sexual activity. This can help you understand what they enjoy and what they are comfortable with.
Nice and simple.
Focus on foreplay. Foreplay is an important part of sexual activity that can help you and your partner feel more comfortable and aroused.
From what I have read online, foreplay does seem to be the best part of sex.
Spend time exploring each other's bodies, kissing, touching, and engaging in other forms of sexual play. Experiment. Trying new positions, techniques, and toys can help you and your partner discover what you both enjoy.
My nerdy brain only thinks about labs and test tubes when it comes to the word experiment.
Pay attention to your partner's reactions. Pay attention to your partner's body language, verbal cues, and breathing to understand what they are enjoying and what they are not. Practice safe sex. Use condoms and other forms of birth control to prevent unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections.
Yes, ain't nobody want a kid in this economy.
Be respectful. Remember to prioritize your partner's pleasure and always obtain their consent before engaging in any sexual activity. It's important to keep in mind that every person is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. Therefore, it's important to communicate with your partner and prioritize their needs and desires in order to have a fulfilling sexual experience.
The AI talks about safe sex in the previous answer, but how do I practice safe sex?
Practicing safe sex is important to prevent unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Here are some tips for practicing safe sex. Use condoms. Condoms are highly effective in preventing the transmission of STIs and unwanted pregnancies. Use a new condom every time you have sex, and use it correctly by following the instructions on the package. Get tested. Get tested for STIs regularly, especially if you have multiple sexual partners.
No problem here, I have had a total of 0 partners so far.
This can help you detect and treat any infections early on. Use birth control. Use other forms of birth control, such as hormonal birth control or an IUD, in addition to condoms to prevent unwanted pregnancies.
Did not know you need 2 forms of birth control to prevent pregnancies. This is terrifying.
Communicate with your partner. Talk to your partner about their sexual history and whether they have been tested for STIs. This can help you make informed decisions about your sexual health. Avoid sharing sex toys. If you use sex toys, make sure to clean them thoroughly between uses or use a new one each time.
Is that not obvious? There might be dried up bodily fluids on sex toys.
Avoid high-risk sexual behaviors. High-risk sexual behaviors, such as having sex with multiple partners or engaging in unprotected sex, can increase your risk of STIs and unwanted pregnancies. Remember that practicing safe sex is important for both you and your partner's health and well-being. If you have any questions or concerns about safe sex, talk to a healthcare professional.
The STIs sound a bit of trouble. How do I avoid them?
Sexually transmitted infections, STIs, can be prevented by practicing safe sex and taking measures to reduce your risk of infection. Here are some tips for avoiding STIs. Use condoms.
Getting a bit repetitive.
Using condoms correctly and consistently during vaginal, anal, and oral sex can help prevent the transmission of STIs. Get vaccinated. Getting vaccinated against STIs such as HPV and hepatitis B can help prevent infections.
Thankfully, I'm not anti-vax.
Get tested regularly. Get tested for STIs regularly, especially if you have multiple sexual partners.
As a virgin, I doubt I need to do that.
This can help you detect and treat any infections early on. Limit sexual partners. Having sex with fewer partners can help reduce your risk of exposure to STIs.
Already taken care of.
Practice mutual monogamy. Being in a mutually monogamous relationship, where you and your partner only have sex with each other, can help reduce your risk of STIs. Avoid high-risk sexual behaviors. High-risk sexual behaviors, such as having unprotected sex or having sex with someone who has multiple partners, can increase your risk of STIs. Avoid sharing sex toys. If you use sex toys, make sure to clean them thoroughly between uses or use a new one each time.
Considering the repetition of some points from previous answers, one can see practicing safe sex is helpful in avoiding STIs.
Remember that STIs can have serious health consequences if left untreated, so it is important to take steps to reduce your risk of infection and to get tested regularly if you are sexually active. If you have any questions or concerns about STIs, talk to a healthcare professional.
I would say we are well educated on sex education via AI, which is better than most school systems in many countries. To close it out, let's ask one more spicy question to ChatGPT.
It's completely normal to want to try new things in the bedroom, and having open and honest communication with your partner is key. Here are some tips for asking your partner to experiment in the bedroom. Choose the right time. Timing is important when it comes to having difficult or sensitive conversations.
True, don't talk to someone about sexy things at a funeral.
Choose a time when you and your partner are both relaxed and in a comfortable environment. Be honest. Be honest with your partner about your desires and what you want to try. It's important to communicate your needs clearly and respectfully. Be open-minded. Be open to your partner's response, and be willing to compromise. Remember that you and your partner may have different comfort levels, and it's important to respect each other's boundaries. Start small. Start with something small, such as trying a new position or introducing a sex toy. This can help you both get comfortable with the idea of experimenting before trying something more adventurous.
Yeah, nobody wants big changes in their lives.
Respect boundaries. If your partner is not comfortable with a particular idea, respect their boundaries and don't push them to do something they are not comfortable with. Remember that communication is key in any sexual relationship, and talking openly and honestly with your partner can help you both explore new things in the bedroom.
As you can see, AI can give decent sex-related advice. You might say that the answers are quite similar to what you might find after clicking the first or second Google search result, but unlike those, this does not have any ads. At least not yet. It pretty much gave out sex education questions like a doctor. That being said, do not solely rely on online tools for medical advice and consult a doctor if you think you have a medical issue. That's it for this video. Like, share and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.